When I was 14, I planned my wedding.
This one's wife, a new low. One of the major difficulties that this one's wife has is that she suffers a double whammy whenever she fucks something up. First of all, she regularly cocks things up because she's incompetent, lacking talent, and has had a charisma bypass. Accordingly, many of the things that she attempts to do, she gets wrong. But it gets worse for her because of the fact that she's courted attention on a worldwide scale and got it. She now holds that attention, but not in a good way. Yes, she attempts to do so through PR puff pieces, but the vast majority of coverage about her you will find either damns her, dislikes her, or ridicules her. And this poses a huge problem for her. She lacks the capability to tackle those threats to control head on. And instead it means she must either just let them be, but bitch about them to the likes of Harry, or whoever might listen, the indirect assertion of control, or she dismisses those individuals in her own mind and stays in a position of withdrawal. Thus, she gets the control that she needs, but the problem that she has is that lots of people watch the videos, read the magazines, read the newspapers, and continue to laugh at her. She is unable to stem the tide of ridicule. She, of course, labels it hatred, which is typical behaviour of a mid-range narcissist. Whenever anybody disagrees with you, to say, oh, you must just hate me then. No, I'm allowed to criticise you. I'm allowed to comment adversely about you because you're wrong. But for this one's wife, what she must always do is make out that she's the victim of hatred. Now, in the circumstances, this one's wife regularly invites ridicule, and it's happened again as a consequence of her ridiculous plans to promote her American Riviera Orchard retirement homes. And it's fallen to Daniela Elsa that sums up rather neatly so much of what is inaccurate and laughable about what this one's wife is doing. And the article is headed, Extraordinary. This one's wife hits new low. Welcome to the year of jam. King Charles's Highgrove Estate strawberry preserve at more than $13 a jar, that's Australian dollars, recently sold out. One baronet, the owner of an English Palladian mansion, told the Daily Beast Tom Sykes, "We sold 7 pots on Wednesday. That's 6 more than a usual weekday. It's quite extraordinary. A rising tide lifts all boats, I suppose." The person we have to thank for this mini boom in the sweet stuff is post-Palliser truther, this one's wife, who recently sent out numbered jars of her own homemade strawberry jam, the first product from her incipient lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard Retirement Homes. But more than 10 days on from the great jam unveiling, and with the Sussex sympathising segments of the United States press having thoroughly drained their exclamation mark budget, what has become clear is that this ARO launch has been a bit of a fizzer. Do some counting, add a few things up, and remember how to work out percentages. And what the numbers show is that the ARA rollout has failed to make much of an impact. So, earlier this month, or last month, the former Suits star turned temporary Royal Bridge opener turned budding magnet sent out 50 numbered jars of homemade jam with grateful recipients soon taking to Instagram to show their thanks. Side note, the jam was nestled in terracotta pots full of lemons that I would wager are now mouldering on marble bench tops the length and breadth of Southern California. And of the celebrities who posted about jam that attempted to break the internet, well, they have a combined 71.6 million Instagram followers. Yet this social media push and the debut of this one's wife's very first product has only translated to ARO Instagram adding about 23,000 followers. That's all. And that's despite the ARO gloopy stuff garnering global press coverage and having major names including Kardashian impresario Kris Jenner, 52.5 million, The Office's Mindy Kaling, 6.3 million, Blackish star Tracee Ellis Ross, 11.3 million, Suits alum Abigail Spencer, 822,000, and Ralph Lauren model and polo player Nacho Figueres, 652,000, having shared awkward, slightly cringy posts of them over-enthusing about this one's wife's jam, or photos of contrived slices of carefully staged bread. A real test of true friendship is, are your mates willing to roll around on the grass or to pretend to actually ingest sugar to help you get your business off the ground? But this makes an important point. It demonstrates the failure of this one's wife, doesn't it? It demonstrates how useless her campaign is, that she has exposure that many people would give their eye teeth for. 71.6 million Instagram followers, and that's just translated to just further 23,000 followers. 2 days before the jam launch, ARO had 588,000 Instagram followers, and at the time of writing, 611,000 followers. Bear in mind, of course, the allegations that half of these are actually bought. It's not exactly rocket ship stuff. Would anyone really categorize a major social media and publicity push a bang-up, whiz-bang triumph if it only garners a comparatively tiddly, for the influencer game, 23,000 new followers? There is another number to take note of here, 16%. The ARO jars of strawberry jam came with numbered labels. Might have made the Duchess's drop look like deliciously exclusive. But those numbers also mean we can work out how many ARO recipients did not go public with having been on the receiving end of this one's wife's munificence. 8 people posted their very supportive photographs of this one's wife's jam, moving them up the Sussex Christmas card list, no doubt. But what of the other 42 names? Only 8 out of 50, which is at the time of Danielle Elsa writing this. Of course, it has gone up to slightly higher. But at that time, it meant that 84% of recipients of the Duchess's handiwork did not want or were not to publicly support this one's wife or to help her get Jam Inc. off the ground. The strangest submission here is that of Oprah Winfrey, who I know we all agree would surely have gotten jar numero uno. In late 2020, Winfrey took to Instagram to enthuse about a vegan latte company, Clever, that the Duchess had invested in, posting, "My neighbour, this one's wife," yes, that one, "introduced me to this woman-led wellness brand." We have not seen the same thing play out this time around, which again demonstrates the fact that this one's wife is on the downward spiral, that Oprah Winfrey isn't moved to be involved in the jam scam. Does anyone really imagine that the Duchess would not have sent the billionaire TV impresario and entertainment titan with one of her limited edition jars? Yet no peppy cheerleading post has appeared from Winfrey. There are other names who are MIA from having gotten on the ARO bandwagon. What about long-time pal Serena Williams? Or Cameron Diaz, with whom the Sussexes travelled to Las Vegas for a Katy Perry concert last year, or Gwyneth Paltrow, who celebrated alongside Harry and this one's wife at Ellen DeGeneres and wife Portia de Ross's vow renewal last year. Either they didn't make the jammy cut, or they declined to lend their celebrity and honking social media followings to this one's wife's cause. If the jam-adjacent news is not exactly sweet, close to the Sussexes' Monty Shit Show home 3 years after they were first made, the allegation that this one's wife bullied palace staffers and aides has resurfaced, with the couple's former private secretary, Samantha the Panther Cohen, having given her first interview. Cohen was a highly trusted long-time lieutenant of the late Queen who joined the Sussexes team ahead of their wedding, late becoming one of the members of the Sussex Survivors Club, according to longtime Times royal correspondent Valentine Lowe-Courtiers, who labelled this one's wife a narcissistic sociopath. In 2021, it was Lowe who, days before the Sussexes' Winfrey interview, broke the news that this one's wife had been the subject of an official palace bullying complaint made by the couple's own communications secretary, Jason Knorf. It was at this time that Her late Majesty called in the lawyers to do a wholly unprecedented outside review, the findings of which remain buried in a closely guarded secret. Now, this week, Cohen has spoken for the very first time about that highly controversial period of time, confirming to the Herald Sun that she was, in fact, one of 10 royal staffers interviewed for the independent inquiry into the This One's Wife bullying allegations. No Oprah, no massive ARO Instagram bump, and one of the people who knows exactly what transpired during one of the most contested periods in modern royal history has broken her silence, resuscitating the bullying allegations made about the Duchess of Sussex. If This One's Wife's ARO trademark application does not include some home-distilled booze, then now would be the time to rethink the product lineup. Daniela Elsa's observations about This One's Wife, and again labelling this as a new low, pointing out that American Riviera Orchard's publicity has been a massive failure and is combined with the worrying revelations about the bullying allegations once again. This One's Wife's downward spiral picks up pace, as I told you that it would. And all she can do, as she faces these repeated and sustained threats to control, is not deal with them head on. She lacks the ability and the reach to do so. All she can do is complain, roll out pity plays and try and ignore them. But they're not going to go away as they continue to push her towards being consigned to obscurity. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.